Hey everybody, it's Jason Creel and this is the Lawn Care Life. I just bought a backpack blower, and this is actually my favorite backpack blower. I bought the same exact model in the past, but I'm going to show it to you. It's the Redmax EBZ5150. So let's open it up and see what's in the box. Alright, so got parts of the tube here. It does say sometimes you can put a little lubricant on the tube to make it go together easier. Some people might say, Jason, why are you using this as kind of a mid-sized blower? There's several. Redmax makes at least 3 blowers bigger than this. Well, for me, it depends on what your application is, okay? So for me, I do a lot of weed control fertilization. I'm out there with a handheld blower most of the time, so this is gonna be an upgrade. But when I was mowing a lot of grass, I often use this exact blower, this exact model blower, because there's something to the weight of the blower being on your back. So if you're doing a bunch of leaf cleanups or large areas then a bigger blower makes more sense, okay? But for me, just going out there and blowing off somebody's little driveway and their front porch, this, I don't think, costs you much time over a bigger model and without the weight on your back. So, you know, and it costs a little bit less. This one was like $360 or something like that. But it's not about that. If you're in business for yourself, it's about getting the one that's the best for your situation. So depending on your setup, you might have a mid-sized one like this and a big one if you're doing a lot of leaf cleanups, or if you don't mind the weight on your back, then you can just go with the big one. But I often like this one. I personally like the Redmax blowers. Nothing against the other brands. When I first started my lawn business, I bought a Redmax blower, and it was one of those situations where I never had a reason to ever switch. They were very reliable. I've had the 6500, I've had the 7500 series. I don't think I've ever actually had the 8500, which is their biggest one, I believe, but I have used those in the past. But anyway, I like this particular size. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this thing together. We're gonna put some fuel in it, and then we're gonna give it a test out, let you see the power. Again, for me doing weed control and fertilization, I'll probably use a handheld a lot of times, but this will be handy to have around the house. I've got a lot of property and trees and leaves and things like that. Be a serious upgrade from a handheld blower. So let me get it put together and we'll put it to work. All right, I was gonna show you some of the assembly, but like most times when I try to assemble stuff, it doesn't always go right. But let me show you a couple of the tips after the fact, okay? So got it put together. If you got some kind of WD-40 or some kind of lubricant, I use this fluid film and spray the inside of the tubes before you put them together. It makes them, you gotta slide them together and then twist them to lock in place. The lubricant helps a lot. On the handle, it slides on here, and you got to get it on here, and then it's got a wing nut and another nut on the other side to tighten it up so that your throttle's not sliding back and forth. It's a 10mm socket or wrench on this side, and you got to hold the wing nut. That was a little bit frustrating. Once you get it clamped on, you got these 2 clamps here and here to help hold this one in place, and then this little wire thing, it just holds your cable out of the way. But I've got to put together, I'm gonna put some gas in it and get it fired up and running. Personally, I don't understand that this one has the throttle on the right side with the handle. To me, that makes sense. I don't particularly like the ones that have just a handle on the right side. You got to control your throttle with the left side. So this one, like if you're gonna buy a Redmax, get the one that says RH on it. So it's an EBZ5150 RH. And so, you know, make sure if you want this, I would be disappointed if I got one and it had the throttle on the left side and I had to use the right side to, just to me it makes sense to just do all that with one hand. And my left hand, it can be in my pocket on a cold day where I got everything on the right hand. So that's what makes the most sense to me. I guess that's personal preference. The size of the blower, depending on your application, get what size you want. But I like this one, especially just blowing around the house, small. Lawn service, just doing regular size yards, to me, this is ample size. But let's blow some leaves so you can at least see what kind of power it's got. I got it gassed up, got my ear and eye protection on. I'm just gonna blow some leaves to see what kind of power it has. It's like old time's sake being out there blowing with this blower. I like the power. Of course, it's not as big as some other ones, not as powerful either. So let me hear from you in the comments. What particular blower model do you like? What brand and model? And maybe if you want to tell me why, you know, you say, hey, I like the Steel 800 because it's big, or I like the Echo or the Shindao or the Redmax or whatever. So anyway, this is a great blower. Happy to have one again. Getting back to using it sure is an upgrade over my handheld blower. Getting a lot of business, thinking about getting in there. You can go to lawncarelife.com. There's resources for those that are mowing, getting into weed control, fertilization, documents, letters, programs, video courses, logos. There's all kinds of stuff. lawncarelife.com. Talk to you later. Bye.